Picture this. Federal agents storm a Miami mansion and pull 3 burn phones out of $2,200 Balenciaga boots. On the marble floor, 31 bottles of baby oil, a Gucci duffel dusted with ketamine, pink Tesla ecstasy tablets glittering like candy. Prosecutors call it the breadcrumb trail of a 17-year trafficking empire run by Sean Diddy Combs, a man who once bragged he could sell anything. Overnight, the hip-hop mogul's kingdom slams from penthouse luxury to possible life behind bars, and the shockwave is only beginning. He was Puffy from Harlem, just a hungry 19-year-old fetching coffee at Uptown Records, until he slipped Jodeci's raw R&B onto pop radio and shaped Mary J. Blige's debut that rewired the charts. Fired for being too ambitious, he launched Bad Boy from a one-room office, signed a Brooklyn kid named Christopher Wallace, and by '97 had the nation chanting, "Can't nobody hold me down." Sean John stormed fashion weeks, Ciroc deals flooded cash, and Forbes eventually crowned him hip-hop's first billionaire. Proof that Puff's real addiction was turning swagger into empire. She was just 19, a model-turned-singer named Cassie Ventura, when Diddy heard one demo in 2006 and flew her to New York for mentorship. Friends whisper this is when the infamous freak-off era ignited. Burner phones replaced managers, Cartier bracelets masked control, and every after-party ended with Puff hustling Cassie behind frosted penthouse doors. The gifts ballooned, cars, condos, a Chanel purse stuffed with cash, but so did his grip. Fast forward to November 2023. Cassie files a civil suit alleging years of abuse, 24 hours and an alleged $20 million payout later, the case abruptly disappears, yet the rumors only roar louder. Los Angeles, 2016. Grainy hallway cam catches Cassie trying to leave a hotel suite when Diddy storms out, slams her against a wall, kicks her, then drags her by the hoodie until a bodyguard intervenes. Court docs say the mogul slipped staff roughly $50K to erase the footage, and for years it worked. Then, out of nowhere, CNN aired the clip in May 2024, and the internet detonated. Brands distanced overnight, Howard University revoked his honorary degree, and a tear-streaked Puff posted, "I'm disgusted with myself." Viewers couldn't help but wonder, if this is what made it on camera, what never did? September 9th, 2024. Federal marshals march a stone-faced Diddy into a Brooklyn courtroom just as a 71-page indictment explodes across every news feed. A grand jury accuses him of masterminding a coast-to-coast racketeering ring, sex trafficking, kidnapping, witness tampering, bribery, even arson linked to a 2019 studio blaze. Prosecutors say victims were funneled through Miami, LA, and New York on burner phone orders signed Boss Sean, with hush money drops and bodyguards doubling as enforcers. Bail? Flatly denied. The judge cites flight risk, intimidation history, and a Gulfstream on standby. In one dizzying afternoon, hip-hop's party king becomes inmate number 292744, staring down a life sentence, unless the next twist flips the entire script. March 25th, 2024. Third day of pretrial, the lights dim and prosecutors cue what they call the shock and awe slideshow. Slide 1. 3 burner phones yanked from $2,200 Balenciaga boots. Jurors audibly gasp. Slide 2. A Gucci duffel dusted with ketamine, a silenced Glock, and a GoPro labeled Freak Off 54. Slide 3. 31 pump bottles of baby oil, pink Tesla stamped MDMA tablets arranged like runway lights, red Louboutins size 39. Final frame, an AR-15 with its serial number gouged off, flanked by 2 encrypted hard drives tagged Miami Suite 16 and NYC Playhouse. Code names, agents claim, for trafficking routes. By the last click, even the judge looks rattled. This wasn't a backstage party gone rogue. It was alleged logistics mapped in neon and gunmetal. Tour bus confession. Ex-assistant David James tells the jury that Puff never left a city without at least 2 duffels labeled vitamins. Inside, 25-plus prescription bottles, bright pink ecstasy tabs embossed with Barack Obama's face, Adderall rattling like maracas, and a rainbow of benzos. James claims the mogul popped them like Tic Tacs between soundcheck and after party, then handed extras to dancers to keep the energy high. One London medic allegedly treated 3 crew members for panic attacks the same night Diddy hosted a 4 a.m. sleep-optional brunch. Prosecutors argue the constant pharmacy on wheels wasn't rockstar excess. It was fuel for a trafficking pipeline that never, ever clocked out. May 2012, Studio Buzz says Kid Cudi and Cassie caught quiet feelings while cutting a remix. Diddy allegedly snarled, "I'll blow up your whip myself." Cudi brushed it off, until 4 weeks later, his Porsche 911 exploded in his New Jersey driveway, flames curling 20 feet high. Investigators found traces of an accelerant but no suspect. Insurance called it suspicious. On the stand, Cudi dubbed Puff a Marvel supervillain with an unlimited budget. And prosecutors played drone footage of the smoking chassis to argue that in this empire, threats weren't metaphors, they were mission statements. 2015, Manhattan penthouse, male escort. Sharay Hayes, the Punisher, says he stepped into a room lit only by red rope lights and the smell of incense. Cassie waited on silk sheets. Diddy lounged behind a sheer curtain, voice echoing through hidden speakers. "Start the show," he allegedly barked, tossing $100 bills like confetti. Hayes testifies the so-called freak-off playbook demanded scripted positions, safe words ignored, and at least one new participant flown in for every session. If anyone hesitated, bodyguards loomed. Rumors suggest the curtain wasn't just for voyeurism. It let Diddy film everything without being seen, creating leverage that kept performers silent. Prosecutors frame these nights as the nexus where pleasure blurred into coercion and a private kink metastasized into an industrial-scale operation. Capricorn Clark, once Diddy's tireless assistant, later a top marketing exec, is the insider prosecutors call their Trojan horse. She booked jets, logged burner phones, and allegedly funneled hush money through bogus consulting wires. Emails place her at the 2010 West Hollywood dinner where Puff punched Cassie. Witnesses say she stayed silent on orders to keep the vibe right. In 2011, she tearfully phoned Kid Cudi from a car outside his own house. "He made me ride along, get out now," minutes before Combs allegedly ransacked the place. Clark's own ex-post dubbed her former boss the devil. If her paper trail lines up with those seized hard drives, racketeering stops being theory and becomes organized crime choreography. The fallout was swift and merciless. Within a month of the hallway cam leak, Peloton scrubbed every bad boy ride, Revolt's board forced Diddy to dump his majority stake, and Diageo froze Kirok's ad budget, torching 3 of his biggest cash engines overnight. Howard University yanked his honorary doctorate, Macy's pulled the last racks of Sean John, and Spotify's Rap Caviar quietly clipped his classics from its Friday drop. Staff say Combs' global payroll checks arrived late. Real estate insiders spotted 2 LA mansions on hush-hush whisper listings, and a leased Gulfstream vanished from flight trackers. Prosecutors call it proof. The once bulletproof empire is bleeding faster than its owner can beg allies to stay. Rewind to December 27, 1999. Club New York erupts in gunfire, a 9mm pistol tossed into a Lincoln Navigator, and Jennifer Lopez leaves in cuffs while tabloids lose their minds. Puff hires Johnny Cochran, beats the weapons rap, and walks free while rapper Shine eats a decade-long sentence. Victims later pocket a $1.6 million settlement, just the first payout in a pattern. Next come a fired chef suing over midnight freak-off catering, a stylist alleging assault for wrinkling a suit, and a student claiming bodyguards broke his nose outside a Grammy afterparty. Each case vanished with cash, but prosecutors now call them early warning flares. Proof Diddy treated the law like just another business line item. Whispers swirl in the shadows where court filings stop. Unsealed snippets hint at a 2014 Florida case, sealed, settled, and alleging a 15-year-old video extra disappeared after a yacht party. Reddit sleuths point to hush money wires disguised as studio renovation, while ex-bodyguard blogs claim suitcases of cash flew to the Bahamas every spring. Some fans even track Diddy's jet logs, convinced the island layovers mask blackout weekends nobody talks about. Unconfirmed reports mention a shredded journal listing dancer ages, and one rumor says a hard drive seized in Miami contains cryptic folders labeled baby bottles. None of this sits in the indictment, yet. But the buzz is loud, the gaps are darker than what's on record, and prosecutors haven't ruled out superseding charges. For now, it's all smoke and murmurs, and every click fans the flames higher. If the jury says guilty, Puff could trade his penthouse for a concrete cell until his last breath. Federal racketeering maxes out at life without parole. The government is already eyeing asset forfeiture. Ciroc royalties, Sean John trademarks, even publishing rights to Mo Money Mo Problems could vanish into restitution funds for trafficked victims. Music lawyers warn that if catalogs tied to Bad Boy collapse in litigation, estates like Biggie's might scramble to reclaim masters, rewriting hip-hop's royalty map overnight. Brands would blacklist faster than you can stream a classic, and civil suits, frozen while the criminal case unfolds, would surge back like a tidal wave. Yet one wild card lingers, a sealed motion hinting at evidence obtained under questionable warrants. If a judge throws that out, the narrative flips, the empire gasps for air, and hip-hop's most controversial king might dance away one last time.